Return to sender, which we translate into thank you, that's yours, not mine. Welcome to today's Cloudism. Cloudisms are phrases, words, and images that I use to emotionally calibrate us, mentally reframe a situation, or spiritually connect to the now moment. Hi, I'm Claudia Karuchi. I'm a Washington, D.C. based psychotherapist. I'm a psycho-spiritual coach, and I'm a fellow life traveler. So let's jump right in. And I will be reading from my notes like I always do, because these are downloads that I get in the alpha state. And if you saw my cloudism on sleep, on the crows and the fairies, go look it up if you haven't seen it. When I wake up in the morning and I'm in that trance-like state, I get a lot of messaging. So I get on my phone and I type it all down as to what I would share with you. And if something's happening to me, it's likely out there in the collective as well. So let's talk about today's cloudism. Return to sender. Return to sender is a tool that I encourage folks to use and that I use myself when out of the blue I get a negative thought. Let's say I'm brushing my teeth and I get this negative memory or all of a sudden something that feels like an invasion. I call them energetic invasions, energetic feelings that something might not be mine or they feel so radically out of the blue. Now, what's important about this is that they be negative. Sometimes because we are quantumly entangled, we are interconnected with other human beings. We have psychic abilities, and what that means that as humans, we do have other senses beyond physical touch, smell, and sight. We do sense energies. And sometimes those are just messagings that we get to reach out to someone if we think of them. Or maybe we are getting someone else's feelings and thoughts when we're around them. What I'm encouraging with Return to Sender is some of these thoughts feel like actual invasions because they have a heavy or negative or dark sensations. When that happens, just say to yourself, return to sender. That's number one. Number two, when we feel, let's say we're in a group of friends or with your family or at a job, when you feel vibrations that are not yours, a really good example of that is you step onto an elevator and you can sense that there's something going on. You can quietly say, and notice that you're dropping into the now moment. Notice that you're taking the sacred pause. Remember the PPPs? Pause, power, possibility, prowess. These are moments of high self-mastery where you say to yourself, this isn't mine. Return to sender. The other way that you can use return to sender, this is number three, is the mental bully. When I'm working in sessions with folks and I really check in, I'll say, let me hear your inner dialogue around that decision. Let me hear your inner dialogue around what you're fantasizing that might be happening with another person. And once we get in touch with that inner dialogue, we can see that the bully shows up. The bully who says, that's so stupid. Why are you doing it this way? That's a failure. You're so indecisive. Why are you afraid all the time? It's just beating you up. It's really not that helpful. What is helpful in those moments is to actually notice the inner bully And sometimes in those moments, we can actually track where that inner bully was first generated. Usually when we were children. Usually it's one of our parents. Usually, check this one out, it's that our family culture or our culture thrives on or really gets electrified by gossip. Let's say you and all of your aunts and cousins are together and you spend a lot of time gossiping about another cousin. Let's say you have a high school reunion and all of your friends are sitting around gossiping about someone else. And for those of you who don't know this, this creates a hypervigilance. This happens all the time on social media. People gossip, they make terrible comments, and this creates hypervigilance. It's an internal response that keeps saying, this group is dangerous, groups of people are dangerous, even when they're my family, groups of friends are dangerous. And the way we might internalize this is that we bully ourselves. We're constantly worried about what other people are thinking and what other people are saying about us. So we're not living who we truly are out of the fear of that bully, of that gossiping paparazzi inside of us. That's an amazing moment to say, return to sender. Because if you can see, it really blocks us from actually allowing our authentic feelings, our authentic self to come alive. And in my podcast, The Era of Emotions, I talk about how gossiping and criticism is a way to stay away from emotions. Do not be fooled. When people are gossiping, they're having a lot of feelings that they're not owning. They're projecting onto others. It's absolutely erosive and it erodes self esteem and it erodes communal trust. Do not be fooled. This is very, very important. And in your head, when you're with people who are gossiping or who are criticizing, who create an internal bully in everyone else, you get to say, return to sender. The other way, number 4, I had to really expand on that one because I can't emphasize that enough. Number 4 is ruminations. Ruminations are when you keep looping around and looping around a thought. This can happen with OCD. This can happen when we just can't find the answer to something. This can happen when you've been a party of one child. Look up that Claudism. These are children who were parentified or who had to do a lot of thinking and problem solving on their own. I'm a recovering party of one and watch party of two, Universe 2. When we're ruminating and in the dynamic meditation method, which is my self-healing modality, I talk about it as figuring it out. When we are in figure it outy over and over and over, we got to catch it. If we can become the observer and catch and say, oh, I'm really stuck in ruminating. And ruminating just leads us to really feeling really horrible about ourselves because, again, we can't make a decision. We're stuck. We're stuck in a maze. We can stop it. This is a good moment. For those of you who know cognitive behavioral therapy, this has that type of flavor to it where we can say stop, return to sender. I'm just going to stop right now. I'm going to return it out to the quantum field, to the fields of all possibilities right now. And I'm just going to take a break from these looping, ruminating thoughts. Again, this combines it with number 5, which is the obsessive internal dialogue, OCD, ruminations, looping thoughts, figuring it out, stuck. This isn't when you're trying to make a decision and you can find it like, Who can help me with the carpool this week? Or where should we go to dinner tonight? Or let me see which colleges I'm going to apply to. That's very different because you can find a solution to that. This is for moments where you're feeling like you can't find a solution. Number six. Wait, one, two, three, four, five. Yep, number six. We're on number six. Generational trauma. Oh, I love this one so much because I feel that if you were born in this time, if you're watching this right now, it might be you who is the one, like Samson, throwing down the pillars on both sides of your family, to be the one who stops generational trauma through your healing. So powerful. When I'm talking about empath leadership, sometimes you don't have to be the leader of all things out there, but you can be the leader of your own self-mastery. You can be the one in your family lineage who stops this. So for generational trauma, if you're the one who stops criticizing your children, if you're the one who stops the gossiping that comes from your culture, from your family, if you're the one that says gently, softly, return to sender, we understand that generations of the past practiced narcissism, domination, critical parenting, self-criticism, practiced beating down on the self, practiced living in fear and panic and being suspicious all the time. We get it. We thank you. But return to sender. You get to return it back to those generations and you get to start anew. Beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful? Okay, number 7. Know this. Know that when we say to our ancestors, when we let go and let God, for those of you who are spiritual, they're watching our decision making today. So if you're brushing your teeth, if you're walking, if you're with a group of people who is gossiping, if in all of those choice points you find your sacred pause, you find your power, and you mentally reframe, emotionally calibrate, and spiritually connect with the now moment, and you, with all of your prowess, say, return to sender. Thank you so much for being on this spiritual life journey with me, where we are trying to do something new. Thank you. And if you feel that there are people who could benefit from this, please share it, subscribe, press like right this minute, make a comment, dialogue with me, because we want to get these messages out to everyone. It's the time. This is the time to heal all over the place. I'll see you in the next Cloudism.